I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which in Hebrew are the wonderful names of the Creator, our Heavenly Father, I Am, which this world has named God, and His beloved anointed Son, which this world has named Jesus. I give honor, respect, and thanks to all the true, faithful, and sincere apostles, elders, prophets, and torchbearers of the nation of Israel, who have willingly endured and risked much to bring forth the truth. Thank you, brothers. In this chapter, we are beginning the conversation of the final road. The final road. This, as always, is a message to our brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel. The mighty nation of Israel today being the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latins, Hispanics, the so-called Native Americans. The final road. Road, a wide way leading from one place to another, especially one with a specially prepared surface which vehicles can use. A series of events or a course of action that will lead to a particular outcome. A series of events or a course of action that will lead to a particular outcome. A route or way to an end. Conclusion or circumstance. A route or way to an end, conclusion, or circumstance, where the inhabitants of the earth find themselves today are on the final road of this last wicked kingdom. Where the Israelites find themselves is on the final road to the eternal kingdom, world without end. The first scripture we're going to in this chapter is the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 2. This is our forefather, King Solomon. These are his writings. And here he is talking about the nation of Israel. Nations are referred to as women in the Bible. They are referred to in the feminine. I, Israel, the nation, as a woman, I will rise now and go about the city in the streets and in the broad ways. I will seek him whom my soul loveth. That's Yahweh Shai today, because he leads us back to the Father. I sought him, but I found him not. 3. The watchmen, today those watchmen are the prophets, the brothers, the modern day prophets who are out on the street at camp, the brothers who are giving classes, and the brothers who are online speaking this word in truth and in sincerity. Truth and sincerity is exactly that, truth. It's not pretty, it's not sweet, but it is. Thus saith the Most High. That's how you know it's spoken in truth. The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, saw ye him whom my soul loveth? So Israel found the prophets, the true prophets of the one true living Most High power, and asked, have you seen my Savior, my love? 4. It was but a little that I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him, and I would not let him go. It was but a little that I passed from them. So the watchmen, today the prophets, we lead you back to the well-lit path. We lead you back to the well-lit path. And if you are seeking the Father through the Son in truth and in sincerity, you will be led by wisdom to Yahweh Shai, who brings you back to the Father. It was but a little time that I passed from them, the prophets, but I found him, Yahushai. Remember, it is Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Our Father comes in the name of the Son. It was but a little that I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him and would not let him go. This is the way we were in the beginning with our Father. We should have stayed that way. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 6, therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doth speak. Behold, it is I. As it was then, so it is today. If you seek out the prophets who speak this word in truth and in sincerity, well, they'll send you back to the well-lit path, and you can find your way back to the Father, and you can find the true way back to the Father. You know who he is. You know what he looks like. You know who he's dealing with. You know who he's dealing with. 7, how beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy most high power reigneth. Now this is what you are to have in your heart as an Israelite turned unto the Father in truth and in sincerity. But if you lack wisdom, what you see occurring upon the earth will make you sad, because you see that we are, in fact, on the final road. This is the final road for Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America. But if you know what's beyond that road, and you're committed to what's beyond that road, how beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy most high power reigneth. Because our Father is doing that which he said he would do. He was angry with us for a while, and he was quiet. Didn't mean that he wasn't there, he was just quiet. But now that life is entering back into us, we are praying unto him with wisdom. We fear him. He has respect unto his saints, the Israelites, and we are witnessing his responses, because he is in fact doing that which he said he would do. What is right here in this living water, this living word. So, as it was brought out in book 2, chapter 77, verse 24, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. 25, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. 26, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. The spirit of Satan is the adversary and the accuser. They are adverse to the one true living most high power and his Son. They have painted themselves as the one true living most high power and his Son. They have said, come and let us take his children and cut them off from being a nation. Have put them in harsh captivity. This is how you know who Satan is. That spirit is in the devil. Devil means deceivers. Deceivers are the rulers of this last wicked kingdom. And hell is everyone that follows behind death. And death, they are filled with the spirit of Satan. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now. But you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
speak about?
gambling with
What do you
World
speak
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for
what-
the United States
what
of
are you speaking
America
about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
This is where we are living. This is where we are. We are on the final road. And so those who are the servants of the one true living most high power who speak on behalf of the one true living most high power let you know that from here it just escalates, as it should. And our Father's love for the nation is so strong that he's going to have pillars in the city at all times. Strong pillars that you can count on. The first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 18. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which hath not kissed him. So from regeneration to regeneration to regeneration, there are souls in the nation of Israel who choose the one true living most high power over and over and over again, over and over and over again, and choose to serve the one true living most high power. And because of their fidelity, they have the privilege to serve the nation. The book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 1, I say then, hath the Most High Power cast away his people? The Most High Power forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Israelites are through the bloodline and the seed line. It's just that simple. 2, the Most High Power hath not cast away his people which he foreknew. What, ye know not what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to the Most High Power against Israel, saying, Yahweh, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. This is what our forefather, the prophet Elijah, said unto the Father. And our Father was like, yeah, this is how much I love the nation. There'll be one person to stand against the whole nation on my behalf. And he will have the power to do it. 4, but what saith the answer of the Most High Power unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. 5, even so then at this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. I've got my pure vessels who I can pour this living water into, and they will pour it out to the nation faithfully, faithfully, faithfully. This is the power and the love of our Father. Remember, it takes tremendous love for men to stand at risk of their sanity and their health, their life, their finances, their living situations, all of it, to speak, "Thus saith the Most High, as it is written," to speak the report, because we believed from regeneration to regeneration to regeneration. So, with that being said, if you understand that there are things that must occur. The book of Sirach, chapter 36, verse 7, raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. That is being done on the final road. And if you are against that as an Israelite, then you are against going from here into the new kingdom. And you will partake of what is written for the wicked, the abominable, the demonic, and the adversaries. The adversaries are adverse to the one true living Most High power. If you are adverse to his prophecies and his promises and what is written, you shall receive what is at the end of this final road for the wicked. 8, make the time short, remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works. 9, let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. This is the prayer. If you're an Israelite and you are against this, here's what's coming. 10, smite in sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say, there is none other but we. The devil are the rulers of this last wicked kingdom. The head nation being Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir, the so-called white nation. Inside of them is a family called Amalek. They say they are some people and are not. And this is what is coming for them. Smite in sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. Though you exalt yourself.
Faced the biggest backlash from the United States president himself. Where do we stand? What kind of reactions are coming from Ukrainians themselves?
Well, before giving you the reactions from Ukrainians themselves, I'm going to give you this quite telling reaction from Dmitry Medvedev, the former president of Russia, who shared on his social media, the insolent pig finally got a proper slapdown in the Oval Office. And a real Donald Trump is right. The Kyiv regime is gambling with World War III. So what happened in the Oval Office serves exactly Moscow's propaganda and the Kremlin's agenda in Ukraine, as you've just heard from Medvedev, whom I was quoting. And it is with this in mind that people in Ukraine have reacted. The Ukrainians themselves, whom I talked to, were not surprised at the fact that the two leaders didn't see eye to eye, but that's a euphemism. After what happened, I think no head of state has been disrespected the way Volodymyr Zelensky has been disrespected, not just by Donald Trump, but also by Vice President J.D. Vance.
Our correspondent David Blevins joins us now from Washington. David, completely extraordinary, these scenes, and now no press conference, no statement, no deal being signed. And in that Truth Social post, it was almost as if the president was scolding a naughty child, saying you can come back down from your room when you learn to behave.
Jonathan, a moment without precedent in living memory in the United States, where a meeting of two heads of states comes to an end in such a disastrous fashion. And in the last few minutes, we're also hearing from Fox News in the United States that a White House official has told them, and I quote, Trump kicked out Zelensky. He did not walk off on his own. The rare minerals deal was not signed. The White House says the Ukrainians were, and again I quote, begging to reset. But Rubio and Waltz, that's Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, informed them Zelensky needs to leave the White House grounds and return when he's ready for peace. The president and US officials felt disrespected by Zelensky's rhetoric and demeanour, and they cited that he was shrugging and rolling his eyes throughout the conversation. At the end of that extraordinary back and forth in the Oval Office, President Trump told reporters that this would make great television. Well, it did that, but it certainly has not made great diplomacy. It has set back efforts to bring about peace in Ukraine by some distance. What was played out for the world to see was just remarkable. It really began when President Trump suggested that he was not aligned with Russia or Ukraine, but was somewhere in the middle. If that statement from a president of the United States doesn't tell you that the geopolitical plates have shifted, nothing ever will. And then, of course, President Zelensky wanted to know what diplomacy meant, because he says Vladimir Putin doesn't honour ceasefires. That's what prompted the Vice President J.D. Vance to intervene and accuse him of being disrespectful.
President Trump, can you get a peace deal done in Ukraine? Yes.
The Prime Minister and the President just 24 hours ago, like old friends.
That is really nice.
Their meeting could not have gone better. And this meeting, well, this was crucial, securing America's support, bringing an end to the war. What must have Downing Street thought when it all went so badly wrong? European leaders have in recent weeks been stepping up their commitment to supporting Ukraine, a collective message to Donald Trump that Europe is willing to pull its weight. But they cannot do it alone. The US is crucial.
To the way that the diplomacy was played out, I watched in utter despair. There's no way anybody in the White House intended it to be like that. That said, it's only 24 hours since we saw Starmer leaving the White House, having had a glowing reception from Trump. And although we've seen outright acrimony this evening, there's every chance that by tomorrow we will see something again. So we could have watched something really quite pivotal.
Earlier, the Chancellor Rachel Reeves met with military personnel in Lincolnshire after the government said it would increase defence spending. Hopeful at the time that meetings across the Atlantic were going well.
It's welcome that those meetings between President Trump and our Prime Minister Keir Starmer went so well in Washington. President Zelensky is now meeting with President Trump, and our Prime Minister is hosting a meeting with European allies in London at the weekend to talk about the next steps in terms of increasing defence spending across Europe so that we can protect our security here in Europe.
How fast things can change. President Zelensky will be here at Downing Street on Sunday meeting the Prime Minister. That conversation, the mood, the tone, it'll be muted because both men know that the task ahead of them has just got an awful lot harder. European leaders showed their support for Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron said, "Russia is the aggressor. Ukraine is the aggressed people. I think we were right to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago and to continue to do so." The Polish Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, said, "Dear Ukrainian friends, you are not alone."
Now, one of the things you have to understand and remember is that we're dealing with thieves. And thieves need a getaway plan. So, because they know that people are waking up and catching on to them and what they've done for centuries and all the wealth that they have amassed, they need to really start killing people on a major scale. But they still want your trust. So they need a fall guy. They need a patsy. So when this third woe really cranks up, they're going to blame that one person. They're going to blame that one person. That way you don't look at the rest of them. He's just going to be a fall guy. But this also should give you this should be a sober moment, because it means they've decided to do that which the Father has put in their heart to do. Nukes will be flying at some point. They've already made the decision. They've got their fall guy now. They've got their patsy. They've got someone to blame it on now. You know, it's like what came out where they're going and they're firing all these federal workers in Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, and they're saying, oh, these agencies have stolen and stolen and stolen. Yeah, but who's getting fired? The normal citizens are getting fired. What about the people at the top? You know what I mean? Like they say, this country's in debt. In debt to who? The money's made up. The credit is made up. So who are we in debt to? How come they can't forgive that? You know, it's like
the Pentagon spending $600 million a year on sushi. The Air Force spent $1,280 per paper coffee cup. And he said, literally, each individual paper coffee cup.
But who was getting the money for the cups? Who was the money for the cups actually going to? Who were they paying that money to? Who owned the company that sold the cups? And has that person been dealt with? No, not at all. They're going to make you think it's you. You're the problem. This is why the brothers, the prophets, the watchmen, this is why we speak. Returning to Song of Solomon, now chapter 5, verse 7. The watchmen that went about the city found me. They smote me, hit me. They wounded me. The keepers of the walls took away my veil from me. So a couple of things. One, the watchmen went around the city speaking the truth. We go around looking for Israel to speak the truth to. That truth hits a lot of brothers and sisters. It hits them. Some knocking the dust off of their garments. But for others, knocking them to the ground. One, because the truth is so powerful to them, or two, because they don't want to hear it and they're resisting it. And so it wounds some to hear the truth. And then those who can really see prophecy and promises, they come and take the veil for the bride. Remember Israel, she, the bride. Because many, you're not ready for marriage. You're not ready for marriage at all. For many, you don't deserve marriage. And then for others, that veil is this world. Only being able to see what's in this world. Remember, Yahushua said, come out of her, my people. And so again, as the amplification process continues, the brothers out here can just point to what's going on. And you can't keep ignoring it or putting it off. The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 20, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. So out here in the streets, on the internet, to the four corners of the earth, our mother wisdom is speaking through the servants of the one true living most high power. 21, she crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates, in the city she uttereth her words. Now, today, the internet is the main source, these social platforms. It's the main source for access to the four corners of the earth. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, 22, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? You can see it with your own eyes. It's clearly occurring. How long will you avoid it? How long? How much longer do you think there's going to be lasting peace in a kingdom that was gotten by the sword and is maintained by the sword? Peace means the end of this last wicked kingdom. That's why Yahushua is called the King of Peace. The book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 1, doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? 2, she standeth in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the paths. 3, she crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. At this point today, there's no way you can go past seeing an Israelite servant of the one true living most high power somewhere. Somewhere. Seeing or hearing somewhere. It's going to show up on your For You page. It's going to show up somewhere. This is wisdom trying to reach out to those who can hear and see so that you can choose. And again, for many who think they have chosen, are you lukewarm? Are you lukewarm? So here's an example. Are you hoping this war doesn't really heat up for another 5 years so your business can do X, Y, and Z so you can have some money to retire? That's lukewarm. Hot is I want to get to the end of the final road so that I can enter into the kingdom, the eternal kingdom, as an Israelite, so that all this wickedness is done away with. That's hot. The book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 7. This is hot too. If you're cold on this, destruction, woe be unto you. If you're lukewarm on this, then you don't trust the Father. He knows who is who. Concerning Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir, Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir, the so-called white nation. Inside of that is a family called Amalek. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Normally they wouldn't have a display like that in the Oval Office. They would have it be a classy affair. But this is where the world is today. This is where the world is today. What you're watching is incredible witchcraft at its highest, right? Like this is Jerry Springer at its best. This is Jerry Springer in the White House. This is quote unquote reality TV show in the White House, in the Oval Office, at the height of this mountain, at the very height of this mountain. Eight, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. There's a time that this world meaning time frame, age span of time, ends. And that's when the Father's going to visit through the Son. And he is drawing closer and closer every day. Now again, none of us know the time frame. Egypt wasn't an immediate thing when we were in the land itself. It wasn't an immediate thing. There were signs here and signs there and signs here and signs there, and they amplified. Everything's got to be fulfilled. But if you think we're not in the midst of it, there's no wisdom in you. 9, if grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? Thieves. At the heart of it, thieves. They steal everything. There's an old saying, pigs get fed, but hogs get slaughtered. They want to take the land. They want to change the name of the land. They want to change the name of the trees and the plants. They want to change the nature of the people. They want to poison the water and the air and the food. They want to create new different types of food through poison. They want to put chemicals in food. And they just want to they literally take the seeds out of the fruit. They took the life out of the fruit. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. There is just not enough for this one. There's just not enough for this one. Remember, this one threw away a birthright for a bowl of food. 10, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. Thus saith the Most High, as it is written. This is what's coming at the end of the final road. 12, for thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. So we as the nation of Israel were designed to be righteous judges upon this earth. We got defiled. We got dirty. Father put us on timeout. And because he is a righteous judge, he made us drink of the cup of judgment and his wrath and his indignation. We weren't supposed to drink, but we drank. So the question then becomes, for thus saith Yahweh, behold, they, the Israelites, whose judgment was not to drink of the cup, have assuredly drunken. We drank all our captivities. We did it. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? You're out of your mind. Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir, the so-called white nation, you're out of your mind. Also the rulers of these other nations. The rulers upon this earth today. You're out of your mind if you think you're not going to drink. If you think you're going to have children in slave conditions getting your minerals for you, for your phones, that you can charge 1,000% markup so that you can sit on your yacht. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Thus saith the Most High, as it is written. This is what our Father has said. And for those of the nation of Israel who want to be with them, who are cold and who are warm, who are unbelievers, and who are unwilling to look at what is actually going on. Returning to the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, now verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you by the watchmen, by the prophets, the brothers, by the servants of the one true living most high power. This is the love of the Father. You can never say he didn't love you, even in captivity. 24, because I have called and ye refused, Israel, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. That was Yahushai. That mercy is still available today. Well publicized through the servants, the watchmen, the prophets of the one true living most high power. Well publicized. 25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. And this is the shame today. You don't want to know anything from the one true living most high power. You don't want to follow anything from the one true living most high power. But those who you do follow and trust in, they're showing you that they're crumbling. They can't even keep it together. 26. So here's what you'll get from our Father and from wisdom. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. You want to mock the one true living most high power and say, oh, I don't believe he's there. I don't believe he can help me. Great. When you get to that point where you need the help of the Father and you start calling out to him, he's going to be like, I can't hear you because you don't believe in me. You don't believe in me. So why should I? Why? 27, when your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. It's really like someone saying to you, where you're standing right now, there's going to be an earthquake. It's going to be a magnitude 15. Everything is going to be destroyed where you're standing. Move from there immediately. If you keep mocking and saying, no, I'm good, no, I'm good, no, I'm good, and then it begins to happen, there's nothing that can be done for you because you chose that. You chose that. 28, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh.
If this was a card game, Putin would have the best hand. His trump card, Donald Trump himself. The US president seems to be on Putin's side. He's been praising the Russian leader, repeating Moscow's talking points and hinting at a summit. Listen in.
I've had very good talks with Putin, and I've had not such good talks with Ukraine. They don't have any cards, but they play it tough. But we're not going to let this continue. This war is terrible. A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast, or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast, because.
All that in just 30 days. It makes you wonder, why does Trump like Putin so much? Is it just politics? Is it ideological? Or is there something sinister here? First, some context. Trump and Putin have always shared warm ties. In the 2016 campaign, Trump praised Putin. When he won, Putin was among the first leaders to congratulate him. In office, that equation continued. Both leaders met in 2018 for a summit. It came in the backdrop of Russian meddling claims. The FBI said Moscow had interfered in the 2016 US election. But after meeting Putin, Trump rejected that.
President Trump has just spoken with Russian President Putin, and some details come directly from the president. He has just put out on his Truth Social, and so it's everywhere now, that they discussed Ukraine, the Middle East, energy, artificial intelligence, and the dollar. He also revealed the two agreed to visit each other's countries. He said, I had a lengthy and highly productive phone call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. I just read what he said they talked about. We both reflected on the great history of our nations and the fact that we fought so successfully together in World War II, remembering that Russia lost tens of millions of people, as we likewise lost so many. We each talked about the strengths of our respective nations and the great benefit that we will someday have in working together. But first, as we both agreed, so this is Trump posting about his recent call just moments ago with Putin. He said, but first, as we both agreed, we want to stop the millions of deaths taking place in the war with Russia and Ukraine. President Putin even used my very strong campaign motto of common sense. We both believe very strongly in it. We agreed to work together very closely, including visiting each other's nations. We also have agreed to our respective terms, starting negotiations immediately.
Well, talking of Moscow, just in the last 10 minutes or so, a lot of information coming and dropping that President Putin and Donald Trump have had a long phone call today. What are you hearing about the contents of that call?
Well, no more than you. I wasn't on the call, but they have a rapport. They have a personal relationship, which is in some ways quite troubling, because during President Trump's first term in office, he very publicly said he preferred to listen to President Putin rather than his own intelligence agencies, which was a real shock to the community, the intelligence community in the United States. You've got to remember what President Trump's priorities are. For him, it's about securing the southern border. It's about trade. It's about China. He's not that interested in Europe. And his big message going back to also to what his defense secretary has been saying to America's NATO partners in Europe, is Ukraine is kind of your problem. This is Europe. You sort it out. You spend more on defense, agonizing over whether, in the case of Britain, to raise it from 2.3 to 2.5%. He's thrown all of that out of the window and demanded 5%. Well, America doesn't even spend 5% of its GDP on defense. It's unaffordable for most European nations. But you've got countries, big countries like Spain and Italy, that spend less than the mandated 2%. And America is saying, why should the US taxpayer have to shoulder that burden if you're not prepared to pay for your own defense? So this really today has been, I think, a bit of a cold shower for both Ukraine and for NATO.
Leaders, and please welcome President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Finland, Alexander Stubb, President of Latvia, Edgars Rinkēvičs, President of Lithuania, Gitanas Nausėda, President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, Prime Minister of Estonia, Kristen Michal, Prime Minister of Iceland, Kristrún Frostadóttir, Prime Minister of Norway, Jonas Gahr Støre, Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sánchez, Prime Minister of Sweden, Ulf Kristersson. So we will begin without opening remarks. I think that's the greatest show of unity and freedom in this city, that we have certain leaders speaking to the press together. And let's start without further delay by going to, we have Euronews with us, right? Okay, I see it, in the middle. So please everyone stand up when you ask your questions, get the microphone and go on.
Hello, can you, on? Yeah. Can you hear me? Yes. Hello, everybody. My question is addressed to President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. You have spent the last 3 years building an unprecedented sanctions regime against Russia, really, and you have promised time and time again to make Russia pay for its aggression. But now the United States is asking Europe to leave sanctions as part of a potential peace agreement. In fact, the US is saying that Europe will be invited to the table only when it comes to sanctions relief. Are you willing to do that just because the White House tells you so? And what demands are you going to impose on the Kremlin to do that? And just a quick question for President Zelensky. Do you think Russia deserves any sort of relief after the untold devastation it has brought upon your country? Thank you so much.
So what the sanctions questions is concerned, what we see is that the sanctions already have a massive effect on the Russian economy. There are skyrocketing inflation, there is spiraling interest rates, so the effect is visible. Companies are leaving Russia. You see they are really grinding sanctions and biting sanctions. These sanctions are part of our approach that we want peace through strength. And it's very clear that unless Russia demonstrates by facts the true willingness to achieve a lasting and just peace agreement, we will increase punitive sanctions against Russia. So the precondition is first we have to see that there's action on the side of Russia towards a just and lasting peace agreement. Presently, there is no lasting peace agreement, so that it's much too early to speak about anything of potentially maintaining or increasing or lifting sanctions. This discussion can only be led after we've seen concrete steps on the Russian side.
You know, well, we are very often, and also today we speak that we need just and lasting peace.
So our Father said he's going to raise these kings up out of their thrones. He's going to have them moving around the earth, meeting with each other, meeting over here, meeting over there, this council over here, this summit over there, because they know that the judgment of the Father's coming. They know it. And they can't trust one another because they're thieves and liars. They're deceivers. And so this is not even about nations or the citizens of the nations. These are about these families upon the earth trying to take care of each other, trying to take care of themselves. You know, the quote unquote elites just trying to take care of themselves. That's it. If you can't see that, you're in for a world of hurt. Because they can't save themselves. It can't be done. This is the final road. Everyone walks it. Everyone walks it. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 57, verse 11. And of whom hast thou been afraid or feared, that thou hast lied, and hast not remembered me, nor laid it to thy heart? Have not I held my peace even of old, and thou fearest me not? This is our Father asking the nation, who have you feared so much, and who have you been afraid of so much that you've lied? You've lied to me, you've lied to yourself, you lied to your brothers and sisters, you lied to your neighbors. You lie. Who put this level of fear in you? Who has performed the things that I have performed? Simply remember the things of old. Remember all the things that I have done. And then even today, where we are, through the Spirit of the Comforter, remember all the things that Yahushua did. The Father's in the Son, and the Son is in the Father. Remember all the things that Yahushua did. How is it possible that you fear man? How is it possible? Yes, it's their kingdom, and there are certain structures in kingdoms that we should obey. Speeding limits. Don't play with dynamite. Things like that. Don't shoot a gun in a crowded place. These certain laws. Yeah, follow those. They keep the society together. But this kingdom's coming to an end. And we have eternal laws given unto us by our Father. And we have to remember who He is. And if you don't believe that you're watching Him exercise His right hand upon this earth, that right hand being Yahushua, through all the things you're watching. 12, I will declare thy righteousness and thy works, for they shall not profit thee. 13, when thou criest, let thy companies deliver thee, but the wind shall carry them all away. Vanity shall take them, but he that putteth his trust in me shall possess the land and shall inherit my holy mountain. So, when you cry out, again, the Father's going to mock you. If you're warm or cold, or you have your back still turned to Him, the wind will carry your pleas. The Father will not have respect unto them, because you do not have respect unto Him. But if you put your trust in the Father, at the end of the final road is a direct entry into the new kingdom. Remember, 2/3 have to, for many, go for a couple of laps in the lake of fire. Choose, what do you want to do? Our Father is the Most High Power, if you can see it. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 12. I, even I am He that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man which shall be made as grass? I make all things. You're going to be afraid of what I made over me? Sure, I've given some of these families power over you, yes. But you must remember that I've given them power over you. I've put you in their hands. I've done that. Don't fear the oppressor, fear me. I put you there. Because now, the oppressors, well, now they're afraid.
Good afternoon, you're watching BR24 live, covering this year's Munich Security Conference taking place at the Hotel Bayerischer Hof in the heart of Munich, Germany, Bavaria, you know, where also the Oktoberfest is taking place. And the main stages program will start momentarily. So let's needle pin in this. My name is Dominik Posage and you're watching BR24 live.
Herr Bundespräsident, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friend. Welcome to this year's Munich Security Conference.
Our task here in Munich is not just to describe this year's geopolitical landscape, but to shape it. And shape it in a way that ensures that our transatlantic values endure and our interests are defended. Because there is a clear attempt by some to build spheres of influence. Competing visions of the world order are leading to a more transactional approach in global affairs. And Europe has to change to thrive in this new reality. We have to be smart. We have to be clear-eyed about what is ahead of us. From a rogue Russia on our borders to challenges to our sovereignty and our security. And we should not underestimate the disruptive potential of intense competition or even a bipolar conflict between China and the United States. This may be uncomfortable to hear, but this is a time for plain speaking. Europe has shown that it can meet the moment, and we must adopt this urgency mentality more permanently. And this is why what you've seen in the first 100 days of the new Commission is the tone and the speed I intend to set for the whole mandate. We're strengthening our competitiveness. We're stepping up on defense. We're enabling innovation for AI. Action is what really matters in this new reality. And we know a stronger Europe is better for all of us. A stronger Europe works with the United States to deter the threats we have in common as partners.
So it would appear that the love between Europe and Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, is going away. But remember, they need a getaway plan. All that have benefited from stealing of the wealth of all these different countries and their citizens, they need a getaway plan because they know that people are waking up. They know that people are angry. They also know that because of how the Father's moving the spirits upon this earth, thieves can't trust one another. They can't, because they're going for full world dominance. And because they're a proud people, it's like one person wants it all, which is impossible. Because they know their time is coming to an end. You know, there's infighting going on. All praise to the one true living most high power. The book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 28. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh our most high power, the vengeance of his temple. So come out of her, my people, those who flee out of Babylon, to declare in Zion, in the nation. We are the nation wherever we go. And for those who have turned unto the Father through the Son today, in truth and in sincerity, we are the city wherever we go. To declare in Zion the vengeance of the Most High power, to declare the vengeance of Yahweh our Most High power, the vengeance of his temple. 29. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. Our prayers are for the will of the one true living most high power. The will of the one true living most high power is that the enemies of the great whore that sits upon many waters shall let the arrows start flying at her. We pray for that earnestly. We pray for that. 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh. 31. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh, the most high power of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. 32. And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. When you are proud, you don't want anyone who's prouder than you. And you definitely don't want to be scolded. "33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go." Well, that is Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America. At the heart of it, North America, but North and South America together comprise the North, but mainly North America. Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, wouldn't let us go physically, and wouldn't let us go spiritually and mentally for the longest time. Made it so that we couldn't read, we couldn't understand who we were and where we were from. Wouldn't let us go for the longest time. 34. Their Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. So our Father is pleading with the head nations upon the earth. The Father is pleading with the man, the beast, the dragon, but particularly Mystery Babylon the Great, through his servants today. We are out here demonstrating the case of the prosecutor, Yahushai, demonstrating the evidence, and as has been said, you know, Esau's busted. He's busted. Him and his whole group busted because they were proud and they just bragged about it. And Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, the two witnesses, have testimony from centuries of being right at the scene of the crime. And so now our Father is disquieting the inhabitants of Babylon through the truth. Through the truth. 35, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. So all the politicians, all the so-called elites, all the captains of industry, yeah, they're in trouble because of how they have been as the beast system of governance. They've just strangled people with sanctions, and they've just strangled people for so long. 36, a sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. 37, a sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. You will be judged for the words of your mouth and the actions of your hands and your feet. As you have done, it shall be done unto you. As you have done, it shall be done unto you. So, the Europeans are upset. They get more upset by the day. We don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, but they get more upset every day. Now, what is written? What shall happen on the final road? The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Angel speaking unto our forefather, St. John. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, the whore that sits on many waters with her embassies and military bases, also her corporations, how many countries have McDonald's in it, all these things. She's present everywhere. 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast system of governance, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Those are those archers shooting those arrows. Those arrows are thermonuclear warheads. They're upset. 17, for the Most High Power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High Power shall be fulfilled. Everyone's walking this final road. Everyone. Whether you believe it, you don't believe it, whether you want to, you don't want to, it doesn't matter. Everyone's walking the final road. And more you're going to see that with your own eyes. Because our Father, which art in heaven, loves us. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 8, but thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Abraham, our forefather, the prophet Abraham was a friend unto the one true living Most High Power. From his bloodline and his seed line came Jacob, and came Isaac, but also came Esau and Ishmael. And all nations have had their blessings. All nations have had their blessings. Now it is Israel's turn. 9, thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, thou art my servant, I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. So those chief men are the rulers of his last wicked kingdom. Again, Esau, Edom, Idumea, and Mount Seir being the head today. 10, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy most high power. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. One way that's being done today is through the Comforter, who reminds you of what Yahushua said when Yahushua also spoke on behalf of the Father. And what our Father says is, fear thou not. Now, easier said than done, of course, but at the end of the day, you have to, in every situation, you're going to have to make a choice. Am I going to trust the words of the one true living most high power or not? That's what it's going to come down to. That's all it's going to come down to. 11, behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. So those that try and kill you, they're going to be killed. Those who strive against you, they're going to go from the exalted condition of heaven down to the condition of hell. The first shall be the last, and the last shall be the first. 12, thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. 13, for I, Yahweh thy most high power, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. We need to hear this moving forward. We need to hear this moving forward. These people are getting ready. Those arrows will fly. Make no mistake about it. For some, it is going to be sport for them. For others, it's just covering up theft and murder, trying to clean up the crime scene, if you will. Not going to help. So we witnessed the Munich Security Council, which was in Germany, and the president of the European Commission, she's from Germany. So the Spirit had me bring out at the very end of the last chapter. If you don't watch to the very end until the video stops playing, there are things you miss at the end of the chapters. But the Spirit had me bring out something at the very end of the last chapter. And if you're not entirely familiar with the reference, it all began in Book 2, Chapter 34. And you can watch a total recap in Book 2, Chapter 76. But yeah, they had the Munich Security Council. You know, they may be making it seem like they're trying to defend against one another, but they may just be trying to defend against the one true living most high power and his son. our Father, which art in heaven, is displaying some wonderful, wonderful things. Really is a shame for our brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel who are part of the 2/3 who literally can't see it. It's a shame. The book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, for I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith Yahweh, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. We are on the final road to the end of this last wicked kingdom, to the end of oppression, to the end of captivity, to the end of war. 12, then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you, because we know what to pray for. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. We know what to pray for. 13, and ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. So even in the book of Song of Solomon, she went and talked to the nation of Israel. She went and talked to the watchmen, and then shortly after that, and ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. This is necessary, to say the least. 14, and I will be found of you, saith Yahweh, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith Yahweh, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. That's back into the Father's love, His mercy, His grace, and His protection, His blessings, back into the treasures and the wealth, the prestige, the honor, the glory. Back into the bosom of the one true living most high power, our Father. And I will be found of you, saith Yahweh, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith Yahweh. The Father's love is evident with the servants who speak, thus saith the Most High, and as it is written, the ones who show you back to the well-lit path. We are showing you that there is an end. Even the wicked know that there is an end. Those who have served the wicked know that there is an end. There is an end to the final road. You must understand that. And that the end is a benefit and a blessing for the Israelites. Now remember, not every one of the other nations is an evil, wicked person. They are not. Our Father's going to deal with them accordingly. He's going to deal with every soul accordingly. But I'm here for the nation of Israel to speak to my brothers and sisters. Pay attention and watch. So, as it was brought out, there's more power in that spirit than can be imagined. There's more power in that spirit, the Spirit of our Father, through the Son than can be imagined. There's tremendous power. We're watching the things that have been spoken in this Bible unfold. Things written in this Bible by the inspiration of our Father. We're watching those things unfold, and we're watching a member of another nation confess with his own mouth. There's no gain in this for him. But he sees what's coming, and he confesses.
They only have control over the reaction, and it seems that no matter what they try to do to cause their desired reaction, it's going to have an opposite effect. Much, much easier for me to explain today what that process is as opposed to back then. If I had to give it a name, I would say it's the awakening process. It's an evolution of consciousness that cannot, will not, and no matter what decisions or possibilities are injected into the equation, eventually it all resolves down to us all learning the truth and becoming aware of this massive dam of lies that has been built that keep us from knowing massive volume of information that we should otherwise possess. Essentially what happened with Looking Glass, not only did they not want people to use it anymore because they knew it was just going to burp out the same thing, but at the same time they didn't want anybody else to know what it was saying, I'm sure. Because that information was of a monumental concern when I was in the military about how to prevent this inevitability. Any attempts to try to go away from this one inevitable conclusion, I again see as a new beginning, an end of this reality, the beginning of something that we can't even possibly understand based on the level of our beliefs currently. But when all that information comes flooding out, there's going to be no denying what's true and what's a lie or what's illusion.
Everything and everyone must pass through the final road. It's just the way it is. So, for our brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel who are dismayed, discouraged when they hear the prophecies, because it seems unnerving to you, always drink of the living water. It's the best thing you can do, is just drink of the living water. The book of Psalms, chapter 145, verse 5. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works. 6. And men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness. Declare the greatness of our Father. It will remind you of who he is and what he is capable of doing. See, the fear comes from wanting to save your vessel when so much more is promised unto us. You want to save the little crumbs you have in this last wicked kingdom when there's so much more that the Father has for his children. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 13. Yea, before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? Our Father saying here, he is the Most High Power. So if he has you in the book of life, no one can take you out of there except for yourself. You can take yourself out of there. If you're in the Father's care, you are in his care. 14, thus saith Yahweh, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, for your sake I have sent to Babylon, and have brought down all their nobles, and the Chaldeans whose cry is in the ships. For our sakes, just like he did in Egypt, for our sakes, he's bringing this thing to an end. He's putting it on the final road. 15, I am Yahweh, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King, the King of Israel, the Redeemer of Israel, the Most High Power of Israel, who he has chosen. The book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 32, it is the Most High Power that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. This is where we get our strength from. So in those literally dark moments, in those dark moments of the soul, physical dark moments, it is the Most High Power that girdeth me with strength. Our strength comes from our Father. Remember that. And maketh my way perfect. It may not seem perfect to you, but it will be perfect. It may seem like, why did this happen? You have no idea what you were protected from. The book of Psalms, chapter 143, verse 7, hear me speedily, O Yahweh, my spirit faileth. Hide not thy face from me, lest I be like unto them that go down into the pit. We have access unto the Father through prayer. And when we know what to pray for, he hears us. 8, cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk, for I lift up my soul unto thee. Drink of this living water. More and more, as we move forward, drink of this living water. You have to do it to refresh yourself, to cleanse yourself, and to steady yourself. 9, deliver me, O Yahweh, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. There's no nation or family or people upon this earth. There's no government upon this earth that can deliver anyone out of the hands of the one true living Most High Power. But our Father can deliver. Our Father can and shall deliver. The last scripture we're going to in this chapter is the book of St. Tobit, chapter 13, verse 12. It does not matter what they say is going on. What matters is that you can see the hand of the one true living Most High Power at work. That hand being Yahweh Shai. You can see the words of our Father at work today. Cursed are all they which hate thee, and blessed shall all be which love thee forever. 13. Rejoice and be glad for the children of the just, for they shall be gathered together and shall bless the Lord of the just. Who are the just? The Israelites, the saints. Yahweh is the Lord of the just. 14, O blessed are they which love thee, for they shall rejoice in thy peace. Blessed are they which have been sorrowful for all thy scourges, for they shall rejoice for thee when they have seen all thy glory, and shall be glad forever. So we have our captivity, we have our sorrows, we have our trials and our tribulations. This is how you prove that that prosperity doctrine is not of the Most High Power, because it's not for us here. It's okay to care for yourself and take care of yourself. It's okay to do that. But if you're out here trying to get the private jet and the yacht and the mansions and the Bugattis, this is not ours. It's not. 15, let my soul bless the Most High Power, the great King, because that's who our Father is. 16, for Jerusalem shall be built up with sapphires and emeralds and precious stone, thy walls and towers and battlements with pure gold. 17, and the streets of Jerusalem shall be paved with beryl and carbuncle and stones of Ophir. 18, and all her streets shall say, Hallelujah. And they shall praise him, saying, Blessed be the Most High Power, which hath extolled it forever. Blessed be Yahweh the Most High Power, who has exalted Israel, the nation, the people, and the city, the kingdom, the holy place forever. And this all happens at the end of the final road. So more than anything, this is meant as an exhortation in the spirit and an untangling of what's going on out in the world, to just have you look and see what our Father says shall occur, shall occur. This last wicked kingdom's coming to an end. It doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't matter if this is all a distraction. It doesn't matter. What matters is at the heart of it, you're watching the majesty and the sheer power of the one true living Most High power. That is, in fact, what you're watching. There's a glorious end for the nation of Israel at the end of the final road. But there's a little bit more to get through. And remember, in the darkness, call upon our Father through the Son and wait for the answer. Wait for the light. Make no mistake about it. World War III and the nuclear destruction of America are coming. It will coincide exactly with the return of our King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Savior, High Priest, and Brother, Yahushua. Thus saith Yahweh. Philippians 2, 9 through 11. Wherefore Yahweh also hath highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahushua every knee shall bow, of things in heaven, and things in earth, and things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Yahushua is Lord, to the glory of Yahweh the Father. As it is written, thus saith Yahweh, and nothing can stop it. This is a final warning, Israel. Shake off this world. Remember who you are and come home. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai.
A massive blackout hit Chile on February 25, 2025, affecting 14 out of 16 regions and 8 million homes. President Boric declared a state of emergency and imposed a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Corte de luz masivo en Chile, este 25 de febrero desde las 15:16 p.m. El apagón afecta desde la región de Arica y Parinacota hasta los lagos, impactando a 19 millones de habitantes.
A nationwide blackout forces the streets of Santiago to run on little more than passing headlights. Thousands of soldiers have been deployed to affected regions to guarantee the safety of people left with little to do during a nighttime curfew.
The blackout happened while I was at work. Our equipment shut down, so after 30 minutes, our bosses sent us home.
Authorities were quick to rule out a cyber attack as the cause, confirming a crucial transmission line had been disconnected. In a late-night address, Chile's president said power had been restored to around half of the 8 million homes affected.
All our energy is focused on ensuring that companies comply with the recovery of the system and that electricity is restored throughout the entire country.
The outage hit in the early afternoon. Mines in Chile's north were affected, though no emergency situations were reported. In its more populated central and southern regions, traffic jams stretched for miles, while others became trapped in elevators.
There's nothing. No cash, no metro, nothing.
The Santiago Metro, which transports millions of passengers, was forced to shut down, with several people evacuated from stalled trains.
No pasa nada.
Espera. Cris, espera.
Catching a bus wasn't much better. Old shuttles from the 1990s and early 2000s were brought back from retirement to help alleviate the high demand.
It usually takes us 35 minutes to get home, but we've been waiting for the bus for about 5 hours. For the past 3 hours, every bus has been full. They don't want to stop.
Por favor, nadie salga ahora. Ahorita es la hora donde empezó los humos negros. ¿Qué están diciendo? Dios mío, por favor. Señor bendito, Dios de la gloria. Señor. We're very passionate people.